Great day, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Do you recall the terrible and miserable consummation 3 of his kids kicked the bucket too youthfully and his 2 spouses? Jackie Wilson arose as a profoundly huge soul vocalist and performer during the 1950s and 1960s. His dynamic stage presence procured him the moniker Mr. Energy, a demonstration of his momentous mystique while performing anyway. Behind his energizing exhibitions, his own life was set apart by a progression of sad occasions. So in the event that you're a Jackie Wilson fan, or essentially inquisitive about the spirit of legend, hit the like button, and we should make a plunge. Jackie Wilson's process started as an individual from the R&B vocal trio Billy Ward and his Dominoes. Anyway, it was after leaving in an independent way that he genuinely thrived that he made striking progress, storing up an assortment of more than 50 singles that left their imprint across different sorts, including R&B, soul pop, doo-wop, and simple listening. Jackie Wilson's melodic inheritance is highlighted by a line of extraordinary hit tunes that have left a permanent imprint on the music business, from the energetic, immortal Forlorn Tears to the irresistible enthusiasm of Your Adoration, which continues to lift me increasingly high, and the enthusiastic appeal of Harvest, modest Jackie Wilson remained an essential figure in his period, positioning among the most persuasive craftsmen of his age and assuming a focal part in the change of mood and blues into soul music anyway, regardless of his status as a heartbreaker and a phase virtuoso. Wilson's life away from the spotlight was damaged by a progression of hardships and difficulties in his day-to-day existence loaded with fear. In 1961, Wilson encountered a shocking occurrence when he was shot in the stomach, bringing about the deficiency of one of his kidneys. There are clashing records of the conditions encompassing the shooting. One rendition proposes that a fixated fan was answerable for the assault, while another story claims that the culprit was an envious and rankled admirer of Wilson's. The occurrence remains a powerful sign of the turbulent and complex parts of his life. Wilson married Frida Hood in 1951, but in spite of their association, his womanizing propensities stayed uncontrolled at last, prompting their separation following 14 years of marriage. Over the course of their time together, the couple became guardians to 4 kids. Sadly, the family confronted a progression of sad misfortunes as 3 of their youngsters died early in life. Misfortune struck the Wilson family, and it was annihilating. Jackie Jr. was Wilson's child, and at 16 years old, he unfortunately passed in the yard of a neighbor's home close to their own home in Detroit in 1970. The overwhelming episode purportedly originated from a contention between Jackie Jr. and the adjoining young fellows. The circumstance heightened, prompting a deadly result when the other individual let completely go and shot Jackie Jr., bringing about his inauspicious demise. The Wilson family was by and by stood up to with a colossal misfortune. The deficiency of his child devastatingly affected Jackie Wilson, diving him into a condition of profound distress. Overpowered by pain, he pulled out from public life, becoming isolated and engaging in extreme discouragement. During this troublesome period, he turned to liquor and medications for the purpose of adapting to his aggravation. It took him 2 years to summon the solidarity to reappear on the music scene. Even upon his return, he battled to recover his past degree of accomplishment. His recorded tunes found acknowledgement, mostly on the ERB outlines, mirroring the difficult excursion he was exploring both expertly. Also, actually, cardiovascular failure in front of an audience. His last hit, You Got Me Strolling, was delivered in 1972. In 1975, during an exhibition of his hit melody Desolate Tears, Jackie Wilson encountered a respiratory failure while in front of an audience. He was quickly shipped to the emergency clinic. However, the coronary episode brought about an absence of oxygen to his cerebrum, which drove him to fall into a state of unconsciousness. This upsetting occasion denoted a critical and defining moment in his well-being and vocation. Close to a year after the coronary episode, Wilson's condition gave a few indications of progress, despite the fact that he stayed unfit to impart. While he was considered cognizant, he confronted debilitation and was bound to the Medford Rent Retirement Focus, situated in Medford, New Jersey. This is an obvious time of detachment and limited portability for the once dynamic entertainer. Demise of his most memorable little girl and second kid, unfortunately, in 1977 during Wilson's visit at the Medford Rent retirement, focus his girl Sandra Wilson, Abrams died out of nowhere. At 24 years old because of a cardiovascular failure. It's hazy whether Jackie had the option to completely fathom and lament his little girl's passing because of his crippled expression. This extra misfortune intensified the all-around significant weight he conveyed, and the degree to which he could process or see such occasions stays dubious. Jackie Wilson died in 1984. Jackie Wilson stayed in a state of extreme lethargy for a drawn-out period of 9 years following the coronary failure, until his passing in 1984, at 49 years old. In the last 7 years, in the wake of falling into a state of extreme lethargy, the vocalist capitulated to confusions emerging from pneumonia, prompting his death at 49 years old. He was let go at West Lawn Graveyard, arranged close to Detroit, denoting the determination of a daily existence that was both loaded up with melodic splendor and damaged by critical individual battles. Wilson's other girls passing in 1988? The Wilson family got through gigantic difficulties throughout 10 years, yet, unfortunately, more difficulties were to come only 4 years after Jackie's passing. Another of his girls met a destiny like his children being lethally shot. This terrible occasion added to the generally significant misery and misfortune that had happened to the Wilson family. Jacqueline Wilson, 37, was unfortunately shot in the back outside a store in Good Country Park. Michigan reports demonstrated that her demise was associated with a debate connected with drug policing, and that she was in a space known for a critical degree of medication action. Second marriage in 1967, Jackie Wilson went into his second marriage with model Helen Harris, an association provoked by the support of Nat Tarnopol, who accepted that the marriage might actually support re-establishing Wilson's public picture. Wilson and Harris had been seeing someone in 1960, and they invited a child named John Dominic, known as Petey, who was brought into the world in 1963. Preceding her union with the vocalist Helen Harris Wilson had laid a good foundation for herself as a prestigious model. Her presence graced the fronts of unmistakable magazines, for example, Midnight Fly and Hue. Strikingly, she additionally showed up in VIP sections because of her relationship with figures like Sam Cooke. Ronald Isley and Sammy Davis Jr. was the widow of the notable R&B vocalist Jackie Wilson and a conspicuous model during the 1950s and 1960 set. She died in August 2019 at 81 years old. Her reason for death was ascribed to regular causes. Unfortunately, Helen Harris Wilson's passing happened practically no time before she was scheduled to address her late spouse, who had died in 1984, at his Hollywood stroll of acclaim service planned for September 4. Her troublesome demise not long before the critical occasion added one more layer of strength to the continuous inheritance and recognition of Jackie Wilson's commitments to the universe of music. Jackie Wilson's heritage is complicated, including his melodic accomplishments as well as his own life. While there are reports of him having extra kids beyond marriage, a large number of these subtleties stay undisclosed to general society in the music world. Wilson's effect persists, and he is recognized as quite possibly one of the most huge and persuasive craftsmen in history. His getting through commitments prompted his enlistment into the public mood and blues corridor of distinction in 2013. Additionally, his story has been rejuvenated through craftsmanship, as Broadway star Chester Gregory depicted Wilson in the melodic The Night Before Jackie Wilson, further cementing his place in social memory. Thank you for watching this video.